All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back updates and information as it is hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. You don't share for Imo State as the statesman, the former President of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, Nani Iwuanyanwu, bans wife from remarrying, and according to him, he said if the wife remarries, every property allocated to the wife through his will will be forfeited with immediate effect. All right. It's not about marrying big man, oh, it's about your freedom. Of course, you know that Iwuanyanwu's current wife is a young lady, very young. This one is Umukurubia, but it was an Bombori. You can do your Bombori, but she cannot marry. Let's go down to that information. The late elder statesman of former Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, President General Chief Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu has left behind a final will that bans his wife, Laura Francis, from remarrying. The document released on June 16, 2025 and managed by Will Administrator Chief Chukwuma Ekomaru San outlines how the respected businessman and politician's wealth is divided among his immediate family and selected beneficiaries. Among the key highlights is the inheritance of the iconic legacy house on Patakot Road, Owerri, will to Francis with a strict instruction that the house must never be sold. In addition to the residence, Francis received ownership of Magiu Furniture, once run by Iwuanyanwu's late first wife, Eudora, and partial ownership of real estate holding in Oji, Works Layout, and Neze in Imo State. But the will comes with a firm condition: any move by Francis to remarry would result in automatic forfeiture of all these properties. Their son inherits the Abuja residence, while London property is slated for sale. The proceeds from the transaction are to be divided with 60% embarked for the education of Iwuanyanwu's youngest son, 30% to his first son, Jide, and 10% to Ezinne, who currently resides in the property, to aid the securing of a new home. A major philanthropic gesture within the will is the decision to convert the glass house near the Oji flyover into a public trust managed by an independent board dedicated to charitable and community causes. Meanwhile, other valuable assets located in Abuja, Imo, and across Nigeria were fairly allocated among his 5 children, who have collectively described their father's final instruction as honorable. All right, this is what is currently happening now, according to Nani Iwuanyanwu's will. But one thing you need to know is that nobody lives forever. Nobody lives forever. These icons, I believe that they failed to do what they are supposed to do, and now he is gone and nowhere to be found. He is dead and gone as it is. Allegedly, there were some roads that were in the hands of Iwuanyanwu before he died, allegedly, like the Ihagwa, the Futo Ihagwa road, that part of it has not been completed up until now, and it took time before they even started work on that road, and the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of which the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo did not handle well. Allegedly, it is said that part of the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in the DSS detention up until today is as a result of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. It's as a result of the Igbo bourgeois who refuse to speak for their brother, so that their brother will be out of detention. All right, but before I continue, let me read out some people's comments on this particular matter of Iwuanyanwu. What are people's opinion, even though the opinion doesn't matter, but let's look at what people are saying. Almost a child said he made this will because he's been suspecting his wife. No sane man will do this if trusted his wife. The other one said it's a lie. Rich man do this a lot. Don't try to make her look guilty. A millionaire businessman said the union between a man and a woman becomes no effect the moment death do them part. Imagine someone asking another to leave because he is no more. Enugu first son said, new living transaction. A wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives. If her husband dies, she is free to marry anyone she wishes, but only if he loves the Lord. All right, yes, Enugu first son, what you said is right. She can remarry. The man never said that this woman cannot remarry, but he only gave his condition that if the woman remarries, the properties that were willed to her will be forfeited, because you cannot be in another man's house and be occupying another man's property. That's just the issue. Another person said, this is them. He said, one thing he didn't account for is that apart from remarrying, she can be, all right, I don't want to read that in full. Another person said, nonsense, why will he ban her from remarrying? She has a right to the properties. She was useful to him while alive. Uche Emehara said, very simple, the wife can still remarry another man or sell any of the properties despite the clause in the will. Gift the property to a man that she chooses, and with the agreement to use him to sell the properties. Then she will marry the same man. The man sells the property and give her the money. End of the story. There is always a loophole in everything. Dr. Stan said, I doubt that 100% of the will be followed. All right, misleading headline, but you have to read through to understand the full story. What the late Chief Iwuanyanwu reportedly did with his wife is true. It's something many highly successful people do. If the surviving spouse chooses to remarry, they must relinquish all assets willed to them. So in essence, she wasn't banned from remarrying. She was simply required to return what was left to her to the Iwuanyanwu's family if she decides to marry. The reason this is done is to avoid situations where the wife might then will the properties or part of them to her new husband. All right, I think that is not a bad case, because you are married to someone, you are with the person's property, the person have a family, and the person have children with you. So you cannot remarry another person and will the person's property to another person. It's either you remarry and still leave the property so that when the man's children grow up, they can still use the property. I think that's just the simple thing there. The myth leader said, remarrying is the active word there. Chief Iwuanyanwu, may his soul rest in peace. I just ensure that his home will have a matriarch for many years to come, just like Bianca continues to fly the Ojuku's flag. He didn't contemplate that she shouldn't live her life. Yes, she can eat her cake and have it. I'm sure she knows that Chief wouldn't mind, but she must be discreet and honorable, flying the Iwuanyanwu's flag suddenly. But I don't think that any wise woman, if the woman is wise, I don't think she should try remarrying, because the name Iwuanyanwu is already a big name. And that name has already put Francis on a big table. That's one thing people don't understand. With the name Iwuanyanwu, Francis can go all over the world. That this is Iwuanyanwu's wife can open door for Francis anywhere she wants to go in the world. So that name, Iwuanyanwu alone, is enough to settle Francis' life. So I don't think, if anybody is advising Francis to remarry, I think that person is not thinking right. Like what is happening with Bianca Ojukwu today, she's still an ambassador to this. She have access to different offices because of her husband. So I think that Francis should emulate Bianca Ojukwu and act in the same direction. Let me read one more comment before I will hang it up. Imagine her remarrying another man while holding onto the assets of the disease. That's what the late chief was trying to avoid, so there is no point in fighting. She must respect the disease by either honoring his wishes or rejecting the assets and marrying another if she chooses. The will and the establishment of a public trust provide insight into how generational wealth is built and preserved in some families. The greatest mistake a rich man can make is to create wealth and allow it to waste when you die. This is the reason we don't have super rich families among blacks. We don't plan for how the wealth would grow when we are gone. And until wealth is preserved and increased from one generation to another, then you haven't created a generational wealth. Alright, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first who will collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.